Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss an article in the Daily Mail. Yesterday, day before now, maybe. I think I've had to switch the running order around. And it's a very pro-Brexit newspaper that has not merely championed Brexiteers, but outright attacked anyone in the savagest terms possible that was not in favour of Brexit, even if they were neutral. And it's now claiming that actually they didn't seem to know what they were voting for when they were voting for Brexit and asking other people to vote for Brexit, particularly when it comes to freedom of movement, which begs the question, did Daily Mail Brexit supporting readers know what they were voting for? But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So the headline, first of all, this was on the Mail Online. I'm not sure what it was in the newspaper itself. Furious British expats blast EU's new post-Brexit travel rules, which will ban them from spending more than 3 months at a time in their holiday home from January. Now, there's a lot going on in there. It's a bit at a time. First of all, I'm going to have to say, the Daily Mail is a tabloid. It's mostly aimed, surely, at, if middle class, at least, not necessarily the wealthiest middle class readers, how many really have a holiday home. But okay, let's just go with it. EU's new post-Brexit travel rules, it says. No, there's no new rules. It says these rules are going to take place from the 1st of January. No, the rules have been in place for quite some time. What the Mail seem to be referring to are the Schengen rules on travel with this time limit of a 90-day stay at any one time. So the way it works, within a 6-month period, you can stay, if you're a citizen of a third country, for 90 days. So in theory, you could do 180 days in 1 year, but you can only do 90 days at a time in any 6-month period and at a time. So you wouldn't even be able to do it 90 days at the end of one half of a year and 90 days at the beginning of the next. So you have to bugger off somewhere else and then come back. And Schengen has been a thing since 1995. Now, of course, the rules have been refined since then. I don't know when this specific rule came in. It wasn't worth finding out. But it's certainly not a new rule coming in for the 1st of January 2021. Schengen has been around for a while, since Brexit was a wet dream from the newspaper that actually claimed to be in favour of and responsible for us joining in the first place. So they're not new rules. They're the rules that have been well established and existed while we were still members, that we weren't affected by them, of course. The impact of these rules may be new to us. We may not have even been aware of these rules. Many people will not have been. Why would they need to be? Didn't need to be. Because they apply to citizens of third countries. We used to be an EU member. Then we voted to become a third country. So we voted to have these rules imposed on ourselves. But then, of course, every Brexit supporter says they knew what they voted for, even now. So surely they also knew this, didn't they? Apparently not the Daily Mail. The headline also says that British expats are furious and blast the EU rules. Now, lots of things not quite right here. First of all, I have to apologise yet again for the term expats. It's part of the problem with Brexit in general, isn't it? So for anyone else, they'd be called immigrants. But it goes against this idea of British exceptionalism to be called an immigrant. We're not immigrants. You've migrated to somewhere else. Yeah, but we're not immigrants. So they have their own name, expat. Sounds special. It's different. Not the same thing. But of course, it's not consistent with the Mail's own use of language, so I'm going to correct it for them. Furious British immigrants blast EU's new travel rules. But even that's not quite right. Because although many British immigrants living in EU countries did indeed vote for Brexit for reasons best known to themselves, quite a lot were not even allowed to vote in the referendum. They were British citizens, but they were denied a vote in the referendum. So, they were denied a vote on their own futures. If they're furious, I would think that's what they're furious about, not getting a vote. And for those who were allowed to vote, again, I can't really imagine, I don't know, I can't imagine the majority really voted to leave. Because for those who did, I also can't imagine that they're furious at the EU rules. Why would that be? After all, those rules existed since before the referendum. They voted for those rules. I mean, voting to leave knowing that those rules existed, you know, actually that makes you a bit stupid, doesn't it, in that situation? I'm sure Brexit voters aren't stupid, so they can't possibly be furious at those rules. You know, they voted to have them applied after all. Maybe they're furious at Boris Johnson's government. After all, they said that their rights wouldn't be affected. Michael Gove said, no, these people's rights will not be affected one iota. The EU didn't tell them that their rights wouldn't be affected. So unless, again, they are stupid, and I am assured they are not, then their actual fury would be for the British government who lied to them. So how are we doing? Furious British immigrants blast British government for EU's long-standing travel rules applying to them post-Brexit, which will ban them from spending more than 3 months at a time at their holiday home from January. There, that seems to be more believable now. Unfortunately, the article is more than just a headline. It goes on. Quote, EU countries are under pressure to change the rules to allow longer stays amid fears the measures will spell the end for many people's dreams of having a foreign bolt hole. Fair pissed myself at this bit. I mean, why would a group of people who hate Europe and think Britain is about to enter some sort of post-Brexit golden age, some Nevada, possibly want a foreign bolt hole in Europe? What would they be bolting from? All the utopia? All the happiness? It's going to be too much. People need to go on a holiday to the very depths of hell to get away from all the happiness. Behave yourself. And EU countries are under pressure to change the rules because the rules as they exist now are upsetting the citizens of a country who have treated them like crap for the past 4 years. Right, okay. Are they under that much pressure, really? I mean, it might have made more sense if they'd have tried an economic argument. You know, these British immigrants, after all, are spending money in the EU. Quite a lot of them there. You know, a lot in Spain, a few 100,000 in Spain, I believe. But just as with the general economic arguments, it will still fall flat. You know, like, as a result of a no-deal Brexit, EU businesses are going to lose out in a fairly major way. No point denying that. That's a fact. But it still wasn't a big enough cost to the EU to risk the integrity of their single market. The UK, leaving the single market, okay, causes damage. Nowhere near as much damage as weakening that single market for the rest of the world. The UK is an important market for the EU, not as important as everyone else, including themselves. So the same would apply here. If citizens of other third countries around the world are not allowed the benefits of EU or Schengen membership, why should the UK be, unless we're going to agree to some rules in return? Because, you know, we've been used to these rights. That's it. That's the only argument they've got. Well, we've been used to them. We like these rights. We're taking them for granted. That's why we voted to abolish them. An argument put forward by another Brexit paper, The Telegraph this time, had someone affected saying this. So again, I quote, citizens from the EU, EEA and Switzerland who want to stay in the UK for up to 6 months will not require a visa post-Brexit. All we are asking for is parity. And framed like that, if you just framed it purely in terms of that, you for some people, you might say that sounds reasonable. However, if the EU did extend this right unilaterally to UK citizens, that actually wouldn't be parity. It would be deeply unfair. Only again, someone with this British exceptionalist mindset could possibly think that's parity. So consider, which Brexiteers never do, but consider a citizen from somewhere else, say New Zealand, or better still Australia, because, you know, we want an Australia-style deal, don't we, apparently. So let's take a citizen from Australia. Australia is a third country at the moment. Doesn't want to be, but it is. Just like the UK is about to be at any rate. Now, if UK citizens are allowed to say, let's say, 6 months continuous stay, they want to use all their 6 months for the year in one big block to bugger away for the winter or something, instead of just the 3. But someone from Australia isn't allowed to do that. How is that parity? You know, the citizens of one third country gets to stay for 6 months at a time. The citizen of a different third country, who has no different agreement, doesn't get to do that. That's deeply unfair. And surely Brexit's not about being unfair. But this is, again, just the usual Brexit attitude of wanting to think they're special. You should extend this right to us because we're special. That's what it boils down to. And finally, I could also come to the right of EU citizens in the UK. That's a unilateral decision from the UK government. Welcome. I applaud it. But what does that show? It shows that we need the EU more than they need us. Prove me wrong. But there we go. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.